Hello, friends, and welcome to the Blue Sky Lounge, your favorite spot in the podcasting world to let your imagination run wild and armchair imagineer all things Disney. My name is Tyler Ianco, and I'm here to take you on a journey where we can dream, create, and explore the Disney magic that lives inside our hearts and minds. Whether you're a Disney aficionado, a passionate dreamer, or someone who's just looking to add a touch of pixie dust to your everyday, this podcast is a portal to a world where creativity knows no bounds. Together, we'll reimagine, redesign, and dream up Disney experiences of our wildest fantasies, from new resorts and park attractions down to even the tiniest details that make the Disney experience truly enchanting. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the Blue Sky Lounge on your favorite podcast platform and connect with us on social media or our website, theblueskyloungepodcast.com, to share your armchair imagineering ideas. Who knows, your idea might even be featured on one of our episodes. Now, speaking of episodes, this is episode 28, and our guest today is Becky Menken of MEI and Mousefan Travel. Today we'll be discussing the Disney Wish. Now, granted, I did record this episode about 2 years ago during the pandemic. I've had a lot of personal things come up where I had to kind of put the podcast on hiatus. So when we were talking about the Disney Wish, at the time it was a new ship, and we were asking each other what we were excited to see coming up on the Wish. Now the Wish is out, so we know what's on the Wish. But we still had a great time chatting about what we were looking forward to coming up on the Disney Wish when it was coming out. Usually after the interview, I share some of your armchair imagineering ideas as well. However, due to the fact that I have taken a hiatus and this is our first podcast back, we do not have any of your ideas. So please feel free to leave your ideas either on social media or on our blog on the blueskyloungepodcast.com. I would love to hear your ideas and share them with everybody else listening. Now get ready to let your creativity soar as we invite you to put on your Mickey ears, sit back, and join us in the Blue Sky Lounge. And as Walt once said, if your imagination is ready, here we go. All right, well, today we have with us Becky Menken from MEI and Mousefan Travel. Becky, how are you doing today?
I am doing magically.
Excellent.
It's a great day, and thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you. So today we are talking about Disney cruises and Disney Cruise Line, and the big things that are coming out with Disney cruises are the Disney Wish, obviously, which is coming out next year. What are you most excited about with the Disney Wish?
Oh, that's easy. The Marvel themed dining.
Yeah.
The neat thing is that way back when Disney announced the cruise line at the very beginning, back in 1997 or 96, and they came out in 98 was the first ship. The Imagineers came up with some incredible experiences that were never seen on any ship at that time. So rotational dining wasn't a thing until Disney did it. The staterooms having split baths so that a family could get ready at two different places, that had never been done. So there was a lot of innovations that came from Disney that other cruise lines since have picked up on, and new ships from other cruise lines have come out regularly. Disney hasn't had a new ship for quite a while. So it gave them several years to think up new concepts with their new IP, of course, that they've purchased Star Wars and Marvel, and amongst other things, that they could implement into the experience. Yeah. And with the technology that's come out since the Fantasy and the Dream have released, that's what I'm most excited to see, is what they've been doing this entire time, what they've been dreaming up, and how are they going to implement it on board. So when they started talking about the dining experience, that it was going to be Marvel themed, they didn't tell us anything else at the time. It was just going to be Marvel themed. That's all I needed to know. Yeah, because seeing what they've done in the past with Turtle Talk and with the other things that they've done on board with dining, this was exciting. And now we're just getting little trickles of information, because in true Disney fashion, they're going to give us enough to get us excited, but then maybe a few weeks or months later, we're going to get more, and then we're going to get more, and then probably they're going to give us the best right before they actually release it to the public. So what they've given us so far, I'm extremely excited about. But I'm more excited about what we don't know yet.
100%. Very cool. I saw about that Marvel dining, and the fact that it's like interactive
Yes.
seems really cool. And I was reading something about it, how it's themed around Ant-Man and the Wasp, and how you can make things shrink and grow on your table somehow.
Yes, and this is what is totally freaking me out.
Right?
Because I do not doubt that they can figure out a way to do this. Was just at Avengers Campus just a few weeks ago and went to Pim's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And it was very inventive how they came up with some of those dishes.
Yeah.
And it's very entertaining, and it's really incredibly cool.
Yeah.
But how are they going to do this? Which
Right.
intrigues me so much. Is there really going to be a donut that starts this big and grows the size of my head? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I actually think it's possible.
Right?
Which makes it even more magical.
I read that, and I'm just like, I don't know how, but it sounds amazing.
And I can't wait. It's almost like when we saw the lightsaber that really looks like a lightsaber now. That's a technology that we haven't seen before. How is it going to be implemented in the Wish?
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yeah, 100%.
So excited.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. And same, not only with the interactive part with the Marvel restaurant, but there's also the new Arendelle dining room where it's going to be interactive with all the Frozen characters too, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah, and some of the arts and the storyboards that are coming out of that, it really looks like there might be some magic going on around the princesses, and that's exciting to me because, again, the possibilities, given the latest technology, I think it's my bar is rather high, and I think they can clear it.
Yeah, well, and like you were saying before, with the first ships that came out with, like, you know, everything before, the fantasy, the dream, the magic, the wonder, with like Animator's Palette, just think about like how you walk in, it's all kind of black and white, and throughout your dinner everything just becomes so colorful and vibrant, and like only Disney would think of that kind of thing.
And at the very beginning, when you're talking about the first ships that came out, how they made that color change was very simple. It was a change in costume for the cast members. It was a change in lighting and artwork on the wall.
Yeah.
It's very simple, but at the time we were completely blown away.
Yeah.
And then they moved into us actually drawing our own characters that are shown on the walls and during a presentation, where all of a sudden the thing that I drew just came to life.
Yeah.
So again, that little technology piece, and now it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Because the technology is there and the imagination is certainly there.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see what they're coming up with.
Yeah, absolutely. What one part of the Wish are you most excited about as well, other than like dining or anything like that? Like, what entertainment aspect of the Wish are you excited for?
Well, and that's one thing that I really adore about Disney Cruise Line, is that there's so many different opportunities for entertainment. From just the characters that are roaming the ship, and you get your opportunity to meet and greet with them and take your selfie and have all that fun. But there's also the onboard Broadway style shows, which they haven't said what's going to be on board the ship, which is very intriguing as well, because they are Broadway quality in how they're presented and the talent that's behind it. So that I'm really excited to hear what shows they're going to put on the ship. But even just the interactive AR stuff that they have been talking about, having other things come to life besides princesses that are walking around, I think that has a lot of opportunity, and that makes me excited as well.
Very cool. Excellent. One thing that I'm really intrigued with is the funnel suite. I just found out about this like last week. How cool is it that they're building a suite inside a funnel?
You know, when they announced that, what a great way to use that space.
Right?
Because on the other ships, they've had, some issues with it. At first it was a radio station, and then it was a broadcast booth, and then it was something else, and then it was completely boarded up because they couldn't figure out what to do with it. On one of the other ships, there's a meeting space, which breaks my heart that I don't have the meeting space anymore because I use them for my groups. But when they announced that there's this amazing, massive 2-level suite, oh, and by the way, it's in the funnel.
Yeah, right?
I think that's the first thing I tweeted was, it's a massive suite and it's in the funnel.
Yeah.
No, seriously, in the funnel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of magical things that are going on in there as well, much like the Cinderella suite at inside the castle.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of different magical things that happen in that suite on a daily basis. And
100%.
if only I'm going to save up my pennies, because you never know. Someday I might end up to be able to see it.
Yeah.
But how wonderful that they came up with something like that.
Right.
That is available for anybody.
Yeah.
If you save up your pennies to experience.
Yeah. You just need to get like 8 people together and just pull it all together.
You know, when you do that and you find, especially one of the shorter sailings, like the 4-night or so, it's pretty economical with 8 people. If you can find 8 people that you don't mind hanging with for 4 days.
Yeah, 8 people, all plan. Vaccinated. Like, just make sure your COVID's safe, and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
Excellent. I am super excited for this ship. I told you earlier, I have not yet been on a Disney cruise. Lou told me that I need to go for a research trip one day, so I am slowly saving my pennies to try and do that. It's hard with a family of 4 to do it, but we are slowly getting there.
Yeah, it is a wonderful experience. It does come at a premium because, of course, Disney is a corporation that is there to make a profit.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of benefits that are included in their fare where other cruise lines don't include them.
100%.
Which is fine, because there's some things that people don't want and they don't want to pay up front for it. So I can make an argument either way with how it's priced. Yeah. But clearly, this is going to be above and beyond just a standard cruise vacation when you get on the Wish.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much where the ship is actually going to be the destination.
Yeah.
I don't care where it goes.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much going on board that it's going to be amazing.
You won't want to get off at any of the ports. You'll just want to stay on the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
It already is that way pretty much with Disney ships for me. I've been lucky enough to be to several of the ports, and so now the ship really is the destination, which it's the perfect mix to have that outcome.
Yeah. Here at the Blue Sky Lounge, we do blue sky thinking, blue sky imagineering. If you could build a Disney cruise ship yourself, and money's no object, you can put anything on there, what would you want to put on?
Wow. If architecture wasn't an issue at sea and it wouldn't sink, I like a lot of space for myself. The cabins are great, but for me, I kind of like to have that apartment feel at sea. So that's why I'm eyeing that awesome suite that I'll never be able to stay in, but it's really cool to think about.
Yeah.
So if I was dreaming, I would love to see a ship like that had more of an apartment style feel in all the cabins.
Okay.
That had those magical touches. So that when you open the door, you do get, some sort of magical song that sings when you walk in the door. Things that really make you for a fact that you're not just walking into a standard hotel room, or you're not just walking into or having a standard cruise experience. That it truly is above and beyond how if you imagined your best day on vacation and the place that you would stay, everything would have a balcony that looked at the ocean. Yeah. Everything would have 2 rooms so a family could actually stay together. Yeah. Everyone would have a big, huge size soaking tub with a view of the ocean.
Nice. Yeah.
A lot of it to me is the experience of this stay. So granted, you don't spend a lot of time in your cabin during the daytime on board a Disney ship because there's so much to do. Yeah. But for those of us who really like to kind of have that relaxing thing, I think that's the first place that I would start reimagining is how can you make those 10 hours that you're going to spend between sleeping and getting ready the most magical experience that you can, that you feel like you're in a theme park.
Yeah, I love that so much. I though I haven't been on a Disney cruise, I have been on plenty of cruises with, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Norwegian, whoever. The rooms are great. They're there for you to sleep in, but they're not that big. And especially, like I said, like I have a family of 4. I have a 6-year-old and a soon-to-be 5-year-old. And it can get tight with 4 people. So it would be nice to have, like you said, like that apartment style where even if there's like, the main bedroom for the parents and then the kids can sleep on the sofa in the living room, you still have that little bit of space where you can kind of unwind a little bit and not have to worry about, climbing over each other for that little bit.
Exactly.
The one thing that I really liked when you were giving that description was like when you came into the door and like this music came on or something. How cool would it be if you open a door and the music comes on, but you see like pixie dust go across the wall and all the lights came on in the room?
Exactly.
How cool would that be?
That's kind of like a callback to what they do at the Disneyland Hotel in the headboards.
Yeah.
Where if you walked in and it da 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 da, and all of a sudden the pixie dust kind of goes up and across the ceiling and down to the walls. I mean, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
This is a welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to your
Very
magical
cool.
hideaway.
And I love the idea of like, every stateroom having like a veranda, whether, I know there's some Royal Caribbean ships where you like look over the promenade in the middle. If Disney did that, if you had like a veranda that looked over into the promenade or like if they made a promenade, first of all.
Yeah.
But that would be really cool.
I would also love, and this could never happen in reality, but we are here in Blue Sky. So wouldn't it be great that if you could have the character that of your choosing could come and read a bedtime story to you and your kids?
That would be adorable.
That
would be awesome.
Just to have Belle walk in with a book and sit down next to the bed and read a bedtime story.
That's cute.
How neat would that be?
I love that. That would be amazing. My daughter would flip for that. One thing that I thought would be really cool with the Star Wars Star Cruiser Hotel that's coming out with the Halcyon, how cool would that be to just have like a Halcyon at sea?
I know. That is exciting to me. The Halcyon is a game changer.
Yeah.
If it goes over well, it will disrupt the entire industry.
100%.
Because can you imagine Universal saying, "Hey, go to Hogwarts for 4 nights and your kids"? I mean, there's all kinds of IP that you could be immersed in this scenario. So I think a lot of people have their eyes on the Halcyon.
Yeah.
So on a cruise ship, you're pretty much a captive audience until you land in port, and then you walk off and do whatever you're going to do in port and come back on.
Yeah.
So to have something like that was truly immersive in the story, that didn't just have whatever story that you're making up as you go along on a typical cruise experience, but you did have one IP. I mean, could you imagine a Marvel ship?
Right, or like a helicarrier or something.
You're in Stark Tower at sea.
That would be so cool.
And then all of a sudden, Thor just shows up to have a beer. Who knows?
Why not?
That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a lot of fun to have, those special kind of IP touches for ships would be a lot of fun for sure. If you could have control of making a themed restaurant based on anything, any property that Disney has, what would you theme it as?
I really would love to see a Haunted Mansion themed restaurant.
Ooh.
I have always thought, how cool would it be to have, the ballroom scene as a dining table for you and up to 8 of your friends, and have a whole bunch of them just in its own room, though, so that you could literally eat and sit around the ballroom and have everything going on around you.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I think that would be fantastic.
I love that. That's really cool. That's good.
Look up at the chandelier, and there's the 2 warring guys shooting at each other, and have, if you could look around and all of a sudden projections of people dancing around you, how cool would that be?
Yeah, very cool.
I would love that.
Have all of the like service staff, food and beverage guys, like dressed up in full makeup, like what they do for like the Boo to You parties or whatever during the Halloween season. That would be really cool. I like that.
And then you just have you and your party only in that room.
Yeah.
That would be the best case scenario, so that you feel like you just walked into this weird situation and you're going to eat and you're going to take in whatever happens, and it could be really incredible.
Yeah. One thing that I think would be a lot of fun would be having something similar to a Victoria and Albert Chef's Table experience on the cruise ship.
Oh, yeah.
I have done galley tours on a cruise before, and it's amazing how large the galley is. And I think, because a lot of people don't know what goes on back there. No. And how cool would it be that you could have this, maybe paying feature where you could go and do a Chef's Table viewing on a cruise ship, and they just have people sitting at the Chef's Table every night. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Really cool. The closest experience to the food is Remy on board the Fantasy and the Dream, but to actually sit near the kitchen and watch it all go down, have an open kitchen scenario on board a ship, that would be amazing. Yeah. And I've done those galley tours as well, and isn't it just amazing how much they do in such a small space?
Right?
It blows my mind how organized everything is in that small space and creating thousands of meals. It's crazy.
I don't know how it's done, honestly.
And I'm glad I don't work there, because
it makes no sense to me.
That would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Just so much going on. I think it would be a little too much for my brain.
Yeah. Very, very much. Yeah, I think I've done the Chef's Table at Victoria and Albert once, and it was amazing. Is the best word that I can use for it. Mind blowing would be a good one. What's one last thing that if you could put on a Disney cruise ship, what would you do?
Wow. There's been so many great innovations with cruise ships from all the different cruise lines. There's one experience that I've had besides the go-karts at sea on NCL, and Royal Caribbean has done fantastic jobs with ice skating at sea and all the things that they've brought to the table. But there's one experience that I adore, and it's onboard Celebrity, Apex, and Edge, which is Eden.
Okay.
And it is an amazing venue that is based on the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
It complete with nymphs that run around, and there's this huge wall of herbs that are live and growing, and the bartenders actually go up like sky angels to go and clip the herbs off that will be used in your drinks.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yes. And then at dinner it turns into it's so hard to explain, but if it was Victorian Albert's meets Cirque du Soleil.
Oh.
Fuse those together, and it is, and all of a sudden there's nymphs running around. I mean, it really is theatrical dining.
Yeah.
So if that type of concept could be brought into the Disney space, I think that would be incredible. We've seen dinner type shows on board Disney Cruise Line, but I think they could take it a notch higher and kind of bring in the theatrics of the Broadway type shows and experiences, which I see that they're trying to do that with The Wish, or it seems like that's where they're going. Yeah. But, to have somebody come out of the ceiling and sing, and like you're sitting on a stage while you're eating and having the show go on all around you. Yeah. I think that's probably the thing that I would love to see most, is them not just put a few characters out and do a couple of songs, but I mean really immerse the diners in the show.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a great one to end on. Awesome.
Excellent. Well, and of course, after we're done, I'm going to think of 10 more.
Right, exactly. I'm going to get emails from I should have said this.
I should have said this.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing some of your ideas with us. We really appreciate it. If people wanted to, plan a vacation or anything, how can we get in contact with you?
So many ways. You can, for me, my personal accounts, I am at Becky Mankin, which is BECIMAHNKEN on all the socials.
Okay.
But if you're looking for a vacation, you can do several things. Go to mei-travel.com. And from there, you can jump out to our Universal specialty division, our Mouse Fan Travel specialty division for Disney, or we also have the MEI Travel side that does all destinations, all cruise lines, and anywhere around the world.
Very cool.
And if you have any questions for me personally, you can always find me on Facebook at Becky Mankin. And I always accept, please message me directly on Facebook, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Very cool. And what is it about booking through a travel agent that's better than booking it yourself?
So many. We could do an entire half hour just because I actually have this question quite often, because a lot of people are really confused about what a travel agent does. And in 2021, they're now calling us travel advisors.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that comes from everything we've been through in the past 18 months. And if anything has shown people the value of a travel advisor, the past 18 months is a good example.
Yeah, 100%.
A great part is that, I have a weird analogy that sometimes people get, is we're almost like flight attendants in a way, because in a normal everyday environment, we can get you on board, we can give you your chips, we can give you your lunch and get you a drink, and then say goodbye to you when you leave. But it's when there's an emergency, when something goes wrong, that's when you want an advocate in your pocket. And of course, we saw over the past 18 months that a lot can go wrong.
Yeah.
So we were the people holding for 8 and 10 hours instead of clients having to do it themselves. And the services that we offer come at zero cost to the guest.
Yeah.
The suppliers pay us. In most cases, there are agencies out there who charge fees. We are not one of them.
Okay.
We work for our clients, and the suppliers pay us.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that people don't realize that we do is, if you book something and the rate goes down, we proactively apply the savings.
Oh, that's nice.
So you're always price protected. So a lot of people go, well, I'm going to wait to book until that free dining offer comes out, or that 35% off. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Book it now. And when it goes down or when it comes out, we apply the offer and you get the savings.
That's great.
So you don't have to worry about the availability. And the last thing that I'll take up your time with today,
that's okay,
and we can do a whole nother list on this later, but we also have, MEI Travel has a proprietary technology that if you book a cruise with us, our system has tracked how much you've paid for the category you've paid. And our system is constantly pinging the cruise lines. So if the cruise line's price goes down, we're automatically notified that the price has gone down. And your advisor can apply the savings and then email you before you even knew a sale was out and say, hey, I just saved you $500.
That's
so
awesome.
Do you want to upgrade, or do you want that just to go on your credit card?
Yeah.
So there's a lot we can do. But
that's amazing.
The biggest part is you have an advocate. We can do as little or as much of your planning as you want. There's people that, especially in our Disney community, that live by their Disney planning spreadsheets.
Yeah, 100%.
Nobody wants to take that fun away from you, because there's so much of the planning that is part of the experience.
Yeah.
We don't have to do your dining reservations if you want to do them. That's fine.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Please, if you are going to be booking anything travel, go and see, contact Becky and her associates, and they'll be more than happy to help you out. Becky, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your ideas with us. We really appreciate it, and I really hope that you'll come back and we can talk about something else.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a great conversation and made my brain get more excited about the Wish. So I really appreciate you having me on, and I'd love to come back.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, thank you for joining us on the Blue Sky Lounge today. If you enjoyed this episode and want to stay connected with us, there's a few ways you can do that. First and foremost, don't forget to subscribe to the Blue Sky Lounge on your preferred podcast platform. By subscribing, you'll ensure that you'll never miss a moment of our enchanting Disney discussions. And if you're loving what you're hearing, we would be thrilled if you could take a moment and leave us a review. Your feedback means the world to us. And who knows, we might even read some of the reviews on upcoming episodes. You can also stay connected with us beyond the show by following us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X by searching the Blue Sky Lounge. They are the perfect place to share your Imagineering ideas. For those who want to experience an extra dose of Disney magic, make sure to check out our YouTube channel. There you'll find visuals that accompany the audio journey of our podcast, adding an extra layer of enchantment to your Disney experience. But wait, what's on the horizon for the next episode of the Blue Sky Lounge? In our upcoming episode of the Blue Sky Lounge, we'll be diving deep into the reimagining of Disney's Hollywood studios. You won't want to miss it. As we wrap up today's episode, we'd like to take note that the Blue Sky Lounge is not affiliated with Disney in any way. This is just a fan-run show featuring fan ideas and artwork that is in no way any true representation of what may or may not happen within the Disney company in the future. Now remember, dreams and imagination know no bounds. And we can't wait to explore the wonderful world of Disney armchair Imagineering with our amazing Blue Sky family. Until next time, remember to think, believe, dream, and dare yourself to use your imagination. Who knows what kind of Imagineering you can do from your armchair.